Hi all, welcome back to more Labyrinth, playing the extended campaign, so part 23 I think. So I didn't get the chance yesterday, did I? No, I didn't, no. Okay, so a day skipped, but we're back here again for another part, maybe two if I can get lucky. Um, right, quick, just couple of things to talk about, not too many. So part 19, um, Tim has commented. I didn't fully read through this, I think. Yeah, no, I did read it, sorry. I've discovered further evidence that the change to how plot markers are handled in the Awakening Rules 11.3.2. Right, and this was this stuff down here regarding, what is it? The 6 plots become available again, but mainly it's about you only get each plot marker once per turn. So he says, I've discovered further evidence that the change to how plot markers are handled in the Awakened Rules 1.3.2 is not used in the campaign game until you get to the Awakening cards. So good, that's what I've been, it's been in my head, but I was a little unsure, and that's what we went. So it says there is a C3I scenario called Labyrinth Surge the way forward, which I'm about to play. It says, it uses a similar mechanic where you use half the cards from the base game, half the cards from the Awakening to form a split single deck that states the Awakening expansion rules, player aid card and end of turn sequence commence with the first Awakening card drawn, tan background, that's the cards. At that moment, do a bunch of stuff. Also commence turn-based plot limitations, 11.3.2. Yeah, good. So there's the bits there that's confirmed, because it doesn't say this in the rules. At least I don't think it does. Polarization, convergence, and disengagement. These are all new things. I'm starting to doubt that maybe that was. I think Tim would have noticed if that was in there and just pointed at that. If it was in the rules, campaign game. Where are we? Yeah, I mean, see, all it says here in the campaign game, and I know this is the Awakening, I've also got the Forever War, but it says the Labyrinth Awakening expansion rules, play aid card and end of turn sequence commence with the first card draw from deck 2. And at that moment you do a few things. It's not got these additional bits about the plot limitations, so it's good to see that in there. And yeah, kind of would have been nicer to have had that in there so that you're seeing a difference, a change. Anyway, thanks for bringing that up, Tim. I will say that in that same part 19, I think I didn't. Some of your are some of your timestamps going off, guys. I don't know. I seem to click on a few timestamps and they're not. The one at 38:22, you comment, Tim. You follow the steps in that box in order. First, you find the travel to priority. Then you ask if there is a movable cell adjacent to that country. If the answer is no, you move to the next box. So I actually thought you were talking about, but when I've read that again, you're actually talking about this bit here, aren't you? You go here and see if there's a travel to, if there's a cell adjacent, and then you go down here. But I don't think your timestamp matches up there. But I think I'm okay with this bit. So it was maybe just confirmation of it. But anyway, I'll leave that there. It's I don't think it was an important bit that we needed to get completely accurate. Comment from Hammer just an hour ago. Funnily enough, you can get an Islamist rule to neutral. At least that's what the American bot sometimes does in the app. So I was talking about moving this from adversity to neutral, and there didn't seem to be anything in the rules stopping me, and we're talking about maybe try to do it with this. Which, I'm glad he's come back and commented on this, because this would be a really strong play, wouldn't it? Because then we can get the chance to War of Ideas it back to poor. So I'm sort of waiting. Not that I don't trust what you said there, Hammer, and that you're taking that from the American bot. That's what American bot sometimes does in the app. Yeah, it's in the app, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not against and whatever, but we've already seen there's been 2 or 3 little things come up. But I think the guys will comment on this if that's, that you can do that. And there's nothing that seems to be, it's only when you look here though and you see that War of Ideas, you can go from poor to fair to good. There's nothing there about moving it from Islamist rule to poor. However, that's not what Hammer's just said. He's not talking about what ideas, he's just talking about you can make that neutral. But the whole reason for me to make that neutral would be then to try and turn it poor. So I don't know still. I'm going to just ponder on that one for a bit. Maybe look more into that. Maybe check BGG for that, because you would think somebody might have asked. But there doesn't appear nothing that's written down that says that you can't do it. You can't turn Islamist rule. Well, you can't move its alignment, but also I feel like something's written somewhere that says you can't War of Ideas that in the poor. And maybe, and to be honest, he's not saying that. He's not suggesting that you can do that as well. So he's just pointing out that you can apparently do that. So, there is a difference. Okay, so moving on. Yeah, so just a couple more things to mention. Well, they're related to the same thing. Jean giving me a bit of a fright, really. Part 21, 44 minute, 45 second. I'm starting to have new doubts about my understanding of the travel operation. Well, that's great. I'll share my doubts in your post on BGG when I find time. And Tim, your own reading would be more than welcome there too. Well, whether Tim's seen that or just happened to come around to commenting on my post, he has. He's left a comment. And sorry, I've not replied to your comment here, Jean, on this question. My question about bot travel. I'm not going to go over the question again. You know, it's about, just briefly, you know, when you're traveling from. Well, first of all, yeah, I'm not going over the question. Here we go. Two-part question. When you've set a travel to priority, is that the only country that gets travelled to within that travel operation? Right? And I believe the answer to that is yes. And maybe the more trickier part, because again, radicalisation travel does it the opposite way about. So the trickier part was when you found that you then travel from adjacent. If you've only got one cell that can travel from adjacent, you've got two more ops. Do you come back here and stop, go to radicalisation? Didn't think you did. Don't think you do still. The guys confirm that you don't. You move on to there and then check a travel from there, and then if you check a travel from there, if you eventually run out of travel from operations and you've still got ops left, you then go to radicalisation. So that's basically my question, right? And then I read the answer. I've read the answer already from Jean. Short answer, yes, you're right. Option 1, which is with the remaining 2 ops, and do I now move into the next box in the operations priorities flowchart, which is here. And yeah, so he's saying yes to that. Although, he's just said he's having these doubts now. But it all sounds pretty good, that. I have sort of left comments in, just trying to find if this is written anywhere in the rules. Well, Tim's replied, or he's commented on this too. He says, I concur with what Jean has just said. Here are 2 quotes from rules to back this up. Travel. When performing a travel operation, the jihadist bot first identifies the target country, and he's got there that's a singular, you know, it's one country, and then determines the country or countries, which is plural, from which cells will travel. So right away, that on its own probably covers everything. We pick, like going back to where we were, we pick Pakistan. That's a priority to travel to. We then look for travel froms. We've got a cell adjacent. We travel from India. Now, remember, travelling from is plural. It can be country or countries. So then we come back. There's nothing more adjacent to Pakistan. There's no more in India. So then we look elsewhere. So yeah, I mean that alone seems to cover it. He's got, carries on where this is in 12.42, the rule. Second bullet. Perform the operation to maximum extent possible in the selected country. Activating any sweeper cells necessary and using the card ops first, then jihadist reserves. So he's got this in bold. If less than 3 total ops plus reserves were used in the first target country, continue the operation by returning to the op-p flowchart, yeah, which is this bit here. And remember, we're doing travel from, so you return to there. And priorities table, if you need to go there, fair enough, to identify the country with the next highest priority. and then you continue. So he says, in this context, target country refers to the travel from country. Yeah, okay. Right, so, yeah, I mean, I think they both seem to, well, like Tim says, he concurs with what John has just said. Although, I'm curious to know what Jean's doubts are now, but I'm hoping that they're not found, you know, and we can just move on with what we've settled on. But obviously, John, if you've come across something that does make some sense to maybe being not how it works, then I'm sure you'll let us know, and well, please do. Right, so moving on with the game. That was only 10 minutes this time. That's not bad for me. Yeah, a couple of things. Just watching back in the last part there, and this is still scary. Just realised, remember the bot starts the turn. He's got 6 cells to just our 2 troops, and he's going to get 2 card plays here. Now, the only good thing is there's no cells on the track. So, what he's going to do if it comes down to it is he could travel into Pakistan, depending on how many ops. And if he gets that, if he succeeds with that with the first card, then the second card could be an attempt at major jihad in Pakistan, which is worrying. Pakistan's a 2, but remember, Egypt's a 3. So, it's a bit worrying, this. Well, we're just about to see what happened. The other thing, I sort of was looking back on when I played GTMO, for not played it for the event, and then you'll notice that what happened was there was about 3 or 4 cells got recruited off that track, and that's probably where they ended up. And I started thinking at the time, was that silly? Should I have played GTMO for the event? Maybe stop that recruiting nonsense. But remember, we've already found out if it comes to GTMO, if it comes to is there a cell available, and GTMO's in effect, the bot treats that as no, there's no cells available, and then goes to travel. And so travelling to Pakistan is still the same dyro as bringing recruiting cells into there. So when I realised that, I thought it's maybe not made any difference really. And the 3 points, the 3 ops card that we use, the GTMO card, was the War of Ideas, moving it from neutral to ally to allow us to move these troops up. And if we can just get past this turn, well, in saying that, I mean, remember, when you disrupt, you've got to get them active first, Grant. So I could spend 2 3 ops cards here, only removing 2 cells. Don't get me wrong, it would boost my prestige twice, but... So, well, I suppose we're going to find out what they're going to do. Yeah, I haven't looked at my hand yet. We do have covert action in our hand, though we kept that over. And then, yeah, we maybe should look more into this, just in case that we can mess with an Islamist rule, a neutral Islamist rule country. Can we run a war of ideas there? I mean, I've looked on there, and I've looked in 7.21, and there's nothing to say that you can't attempt. You know, it just says neutral or ally Muslim country. But it talks here that it's going to improve its governance by 1 to good. But again, there's no mention of, you know, the progression, although it's not a normal progression going from Islamist rule to poor, but it might well be that that's doable then. Or maybe just because it's no there, it's maybe because you can do it. Right, let's get going. Yeah, because I'd like to try and squeeze 2 parts here while I've got this bit of free time. And I should be able to, unless things slow me down. So just draw a card, Grant? I think so. How about a little check on maybe the situation out there? Just to confirm. Let's just double check the world is soft 1. I mean, that just changed quite recently though, so I don't know if you can get the whole thing in there or not. You can't really, can you? So looking at soft, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got 5, 6 here. I think that's it. There's 6 soft. They stand out quite well with being pink like that, don't they? And then hard, we've got India here's 1, Israel's built in, so that's 2, and then what Tony Blair done to us? 3, 4, 5. So it is 6 to 5, which does make it 1 soft. Okay, good. Right, what have we got? Poor and Islamist rule. We've got Islamist rule 1 and then poor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then that one there's 10. Right, looks like we're sitting in the right spot. And then fair good countries, I'm showing 4 here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and we've got 1 there, 4. And then resource-wise, we've got 1 good resource, and they've got 3 Islamist rule resources. Right, okay, so good. Right, so we're sitting where we should be. Well, yeah, these next 2 cards could be a bit scary, to be honest, but here we go. Right, well, the number 1 there in the top left corner is quite nice, because that means, yeah, they've got 2 reserves, though. I was forgetting about that. Although this is an associated event. So Gaza withdrawal. If US play -1 fund, no, it's not. If jihadists place a sell in Israel, there's no cells on the track. I don't think that's a great thing, because now they're just going to use 3 ops and do something horrible like travel to Pakistan. Well, they can't place a sell in Israel. So if they can't do nothing with an unassociated card, they'll use it for the ops. No, to be honest, they can't do. If nothing can be done on on an unassociated or a jihadist card, they don't play the event. If it does absolutely nothing, that's going to do nothing for them, because there's no cells on the track. So it's going to be an unplayable event of 1 ops. Yeah, just come off the back. Obviously, probably not many had looked at this. The slight issue we had with using the reserves and then putting them back. It certainly looked like there was no difference in how it was done, but it was a bit worrying that I wasn't sure if to take the reserves first. I think you have to take the reserves first. You find out the operation you're doing. It doesn't matter if there's only 1 cell to do the operation with. I feel like if you follow the rules, it says to then take the reserves, doesn't it? Do it to its maximum. I suppose when you're hanging, you're not really doing it to its maximum, because you've only got 1 cell you can do it with. So maybe I might get different views on that one, to be honest. That's possible. Right, hang on. Right, well, as far as I'm aware, you don't just grab the reserves now. We've got 1 ops. We've got to find out what they want to do. What's the priority here? So, is it a playable non-US event? No. Is a major jihad success at poor possible? No, but it's very close. 6 cells to 2 troops. Remember, it needs to be 5 more. Yeah, so it's 4 more. So it's just 1 short. And there's no other countries that apply there. So that's a no for now. Is funding tight? No. Is there a cell in good or fair Muslim? No. They're all in poor or Islamist rule. So no. Is there a cell, poor Muslim with 1 to 4 more cells than troops? Yes. Again, Pakistan and Iraq. And I think this is a bit that Tim was commenting on. Like I say, it might have been that the timestamp was a wee bit further forward than the actual bit. I looked either side of the timestamp and whatever. But you know what? It's fine. Might be me. So the priority is going to be Pakistan, because we know it's going to end up that. But again, there's no cells adjacent to any of them anyway. So it's going to go there. It's going to find Pakistan and then find that there's no cell adjacent. So it's going to go there. No. Now, funding moderate? No. However, cell available? No this time. Travel? Okay, so it's going to do a travel operation. And yeah, this is when it's just going to grab the 2 reserves, isn't it? Because it's only got 1 ops. So I got one ops. Now, do we find out all the priorities here first and find out where it's travelling to and travelling from and all that? No, I think because we know it's travelling, is this not? Are we not at the point now whereas we would jump in and take these reserves? I think so. Tell me if I'm getting this slightly out of order, guys. So we've got one ops. I'm going to take the 2 as well. So now we've got 3 ops, right? And I will signify that with the dice on here. So we've got 3 ops to do a travel operation. Okay. So where are we travelling to? Where are we travelling from? Well, we start here. Is our Pumas on 1 to 4 more cells? Yes, than troops. You try to speak too quick there, Grant, I think. So here and here. And yeah, that's without a drink, although I'm just shortly going to have a beer. So yeah, 1 to 4 more cells of troops. So again, Iraq and Pakistan. So we stop here. We now look for the table. We're travelling to not Islamist rule. Second priority, Pakistan. Unless no arsenal. Well, there's an arsenal. So that's it. We're going to attempt to travel up to 3 ops points to Pakistan. Right, so where are we going from? I think we worked out that Islamist rule. Now, would that remove the last cell from there? Yeah, I think it's... no, is that not the one? Yeah, it is. So we need to keep an eye on that note. Well, let's see first. Can we travel from anything adjacent to Pakistan? No, because the reason that is because it's automatic. Right, so no. Can we travel from an auto-recruit country? Well, yes we can. We've got 2 auto-recruit countries. We've got regime change, Central Asia, and Islamist rule, Egypt. Okay? And we've got 3 ops points. So between the 2, we now know we go away from there, we stop there, we come here, travel from, not the destination, well that's not relevant, Islamist rule. Okay? So it's one to prioritise from Islamist rule, but just jumping back to this little note here. Only travel the last cell out of an auto-recruit country, and remember, Islamist rule is auto-recruit, if at least 2 other auto-recruit countries have cells. 12.3.9. I mean, Islamist rule is an auto-recruit country, isn't it? 12.3.9, yeah. Yeah, we've read that a few times. Just in case, I'd like to have seen it said Islamist rule, but it's going to say auto-recruit again, isn't it? Jihadist bot will never travel the last cell in an auto-recruit country unless at least 2 other auto-recruit countries have a cell. Thus, the last cell in an auto-recruit country is not considered movable, except when 2 other auto-recruit countries have a cell. Right, well, but this is an auto-recruit country because you've already came to this, and it's between that, and you've chose that, so it clearly is. Right, so that now means we can only travel 1 of these cells. No. Right, I don't know if you can see where I'm sort of getting... I'm slowing down here because if I roll the dice, I mean, we've got to have a roll to carry out this travel. We need to roll a 3 or less. So, I mean, it seemed simple to me at first to say, right, I'm going to try and travel with that cell. Well, what if I fail with that cell? Can I then consider travelling with the other cell? Because... I can't roll 2 dice straight up here. Oh, don't stop me with something like that. Alright, this is going to frustrate me because I don't know what to do, and I want to have a couple of parts done, and now I'm stuck. I had a quick search there, but I can't really find anything. Was that in the old rules as well? That rule? I'd only searched on the Awakening So it would be in the boat travel, wouldn't it? The old rules. Oh, I'm not sure. I shouldn't be looking at the old boat rules, but I'm just seeing if I could search for it in there to see. For travel, for select destination. If the last sale in an Islamic show or regime change country travels, it travels within the country. So it's kind of the same. Well, it does it slightly differently. Let me go and search on the main page then. No, I'm not going to get nothing from there either because I'm remembering it's different, isn't it? They do it differently in the old bot. Because we just been shown that recently, haven't we? Right, where was the travel bit there again? There. Separately select the origin for each destination, descending order. See it. Finally conduct all travel, 1 attempt per cell. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's done differently. So what do I do here? I mean, I really need to go and ask the question about how I deal with this. But I want to play some, so I'm in a bit of a... I don't think I can roll 2 dice. I don't think I can select both of them. But the problem is, if I just roll 1 dice and it fails, it stays there. Then can I check the other one, maybe? I don't know. I don't know how to deal with this. Damn. I'm not going to get an answer right away. Okay, well, I'm better going and asking the question first and then making a choice what I think's right, and I can maybe rewind. This is really spoiling things. That's annoying. Right, give me a minute. Right, well, I've chucked a quick question out there, so whether it's clear enough, I just try to do it quickly so that I might get some reply and be able to be more comfortable with what I'm going to do next. So what are my options here? 3 ops, 2 cells there. Now, we know that we've got cells in here as well. I mean, there's 5 cells in there, and they're fine about moving. All 3 could come from there, but it wants to select Islamic rule first, doesn't it? From the travel from priorities. Aye. Then, after that, it would then the next. It doesn't matter what the next one is. That's the only other auto recruit country, isn't it? So I don't know what to do. Either I sort of felt like I should just be rolling 1 dice there, but if it fails, it then looks sort of like odd, and then you think, well, there's still 2 cells there. We could get lucky and get a success. That's what I kind of want, innit? I want to roll 1 dice and get a 1, 2, or 3. Well, I kind of don't want. I kind of don't want this, but it would just allow me to move on, because I know then I can't travel the last cell out of there, and then I attempt to travel 2 cells from there. Shall we do that? I thought this doesn't feel comfortably right, to be honest. Right, I'm going to roll 1, because this is a priority. I know I can only travel 1 of these out, though. I'm going to just roll 1 dice. So my first ops is going to attempt to travel 1 of these cells to Pakistan. And I wouldn't be doing this if I could just go away and wait on an answer here, but I can't. Well, I mean, I can, but it means I don't get to play anymore, so... I'm kind of hoping this is going to be a 1 to 3 in some ways. Right, here we go. Oh, that's not... So now, so this is me attempting to travel with a sail. Hang on. Grant, the sail goes back to the track. Don't. Oh, divvy. Well, that's fine. Right. Oh. Right, I didn't need to ask a question then, did I? Well, maybe we should delete that question. Hang on. Yeah, okay, I quickly went and deleted that daft question. What a goon. Each failure remove a cell to the funding track. Right, okay. I guess, what is it, plots that would remain behind, and that's a different thing altogether. I'm trying to rush things a bit here, I think. So, that was correct. We would have only rolled one, because this cell was either going to move to Pakistan and become sweeper again, or move to the track, which is what's happened. So that was always going to just be one. I'm thinking it's a failure and there's going to still be two cells there. What a divvy. Okay, right. So now that we've done that, we can't travel this other one, because again, we've not got two other auto-recruit countries with cells. So we come back here, but however, we're still looking for auto-recruit countries that we can travel from, and there is still one in Central Asia. And it's got plenty of cells. We've got 2 ops left, so we're going to attempt to travel 2 of these cells to Pakistan. Right, they're all active cells as well, but you choose the active ones over the sweepers anyway, because when they travel, they go to sleep. Right, so 2 into Pakistan. Right, 1 success, that's enough, isn't it? Yeah, well, they're always going to get this. They've got 1 card to come. So 1 success, but 1 failed. So 1 goes back to the track, and 1 comes in to Pakistan, and now there's 7 to 2. Oh, no. So they're going to try a major jihad. Right, that was the last 2 ops for that card. Remember, they used up the reserves there as well. So that's the one good thing, is they've no reserves. Remember, this wasn't played for event as well, so not going to get any reserves. Right, Grant, you're okay. You can move on. You can relax now. Right, after your daft moment. There'll be more to come, no doubt. Okay, so we're moving on to the second card. Right, we kind of want this to be a playable event, because if not, it's going to major jihad attempt in Pakistan. Does need 2 successes, no Baziz regime. So, and we're also hoping that it'll only be a 2 ops card, and then it only gets 2 die rolls for 2 successes. I don't want to see a 3 ops card, I'd like to see a playable event. Here we go. No! Didn't draw 2 cards there, no. I thought I had it first. Oh, man. We've got problems. I tell you what, I think we're going to be highly looking more into this, trying to move this along and change it up, because they could be getting up to 5 points here. There was only 2 oil price spike cards, wasn't there? I think there is. I think I checked when we were looking at the events that there's only 2 of them. Because if one of them came in, it could be game over. Right, well, let's see if they get the major jihad first, Grant. They might not. So they've got 3 ops. Oh, they're certainly going to try it. So, and not only that, if they do fail, they get a Baziz regime, don't they? Okay, is it a playable non-use event? No. Is major jihad success at poor possible? It is. They require 5 more cells than troops. Non-Islamist rule country with 5 or more cells than troops, which is what they've got. We've got 7 troops to our 7 cells to our 2 troops. So right, so all cells are going active. Right, okay, so all cells active. Yeah, and remember, this is a WMD country as well. So if they go Islamist rule, do all the plots become available? All 3 of them? All 3 WMDs? Oh my. Okay. So all cells active. They need 2 successes. There's no busies regime. Yeah, and if it's if 3 rolls at poor fail. Yeah. So we really want that 2. Even if we got a 2 ops card there. They still might have succeeded with 2 dice. Right. Okay. They're getting to roll 3 dice. And they need 2 successes. And we want 3 failures here. We definitely want 2 failures. Right, here goes. No! I thought I got away with it there. Oh my. Right, we're in trouble now. So 2 successes, 1 failure. 1 failure goes back to the track, yeah? Yeah, we know that. I know it doesn't say it in the major. So 1 failure back to the track. But 2 successes. Governance for poor Islamist rule, alignment to adversary. So this goes to adversary, Islamist rule. Remove all regime change, disease regime and aid markers. There's none of them. Add resources to funding. Oh my, just my prestige is at 3. But if there's troops, prestige to 1. So add resources to funding. The resources there is 2. So they go back up to 9. We've got troops there, so our prestige goes down to 1. And that's it. Right, so, and then also scoring up here. Well, that went from poor to Islamist rule, so that stays the same. However, they've now got another 2 resources. So they were on 3 and now they're on 5. 1 away from victory. I've got to go back hard, haven't I? Man, my guess is there's going to be oil price spike cards in the new deck. I mean, we're not there yet. We've got 1 turn to go through yet, but if any one of the events come up for the bot, it's going to automatically play. Now hang on, Grant. They've got to be oil producing countries. They're not. Egypt and Pakistan are not. So there's no extreme panic just yet. Mind you, the other thing that it brings in the new stuff. I was reading up on the rules today. As it brings in the Caliphate capital thing, which adds 1 resource. So I mean that would do it as well. To take them to 6. Oh, that was cruel. Yeah, it can easily get away from you, can't it? I mean, I was lucky a couple of times there before I noticed that they could have had this probably sooner. But we have been maybe a little bit unlucky with the cards that they've been drawing, so... Anyway. Right then. Well, I think that's everything. I knocked our prestige down to 1 as well. Oh my, I don't know what to do now. I don't know what to do. I've looked at my hand, but I'm certainly going to have a look into this now, I think. And I might need to work on my War of Ideas prestige as well, though. Because, if you're rolling any kind of War of Ideas with a -1 modifier, you've got to roll a 6. And you're spending a 3 cost card to roll a 6. Yeah, to be honest, I don't even think I can do that in there. Yeah, I mean, what would I need to roll? It'd normally be a poor country at 3. So what would... No, that doesn't affect you, Grant. No, what card would I need to use? Well, yeah, it'd need to be a 3 cost card, wouldn't it? A 3 ops card. I don't know. I might need to look into it, but... I'm just kind of... blown away a bit there. That was a bit nasty. Okay, so that's their turn. Yeah, they used up all the ropes. One sale failed, went back to the track. This wasn't played for events, so these 2 cards are just discarded. So that was a great start to their turn. And, right, well, might as well get the cards out and have a look. Well, I haven't looked at the details yet, but this looks horrible. We've got 5 jihadist cards. I mean, 3 of them are 1s. So we've got weak. Play of enhanced measures, renditions, or wiretapping is an event box. And wiretapping is an event box. So it would flip the marker blocking the event, roll yes posture, and then prestige, and shift an ally to neutral. Oh my god, 85? Must be some info on that. If multiple markers select randomly. Alright, because weak can flip. Yeah, so it can flip either one of the 3 events. Roll yes posture, and then prestige, and then shift an ally to neutral. I'm assuming I don't know about how to go about shift the ally to neutral. I mean, you'd maybe be able to go through the flowchart for it. I don't know. We'd need to check for shifting alignment, wouldn't it? Anyway, well, straight up kind of looks like I don't want to do that, do I? Mind you, do I care about rolling posture and prestige right now? I probably want to go hard. Shifting an ally to neutral is not great, but right, what else is there? Martyrdom operation, we know that's terrible. Play of a non-Islamic rule country as a cell. Yeah, replace the cell with 2 available plots. Oh, yeah, that was the thing I've not done. Is dealt with these. I knew there was something. It might just be in Major Jihad 8.4.2, maybe. Major Jihad, Pakistan Arsenal, here we are. So, in rule 8.4.5 here. The first time Pakistan shifts to Islamist rule, place the 3 WMD plot markers from the Pakistani Arsenal box into the available plots box. They are available for later plots. Oh my word. We might not be seeing the new deck. Okay, so these 3 are going in here as well. Now, with the old original version of the game, we would have been replacing these as well, I think, with normal plots. But no, we're playing bot version 2, so there's no limit to the amount that we've got in this box. Okay? That's what we're going by. So, right, let me tidy these up. Right, so we've got 10, haven't we? So we've got 10 plots now, and 4 of them are WMDs. Right, I know this is bad, and I mean that's now even worse because there's a much higher chance of a WMD. Right, Madrasas, play a first card in Jihadist action phase. Right, no, so we can always get away with playing that without it triggering. Play of troops in Iraq, there's not. So we can get away with that. And then play if a regime change country has a cell. Well, that is a case. -1 prestige, block you in nation building. So, yeah, 3 out of the 5 are playable just now, anyway. Like I say, I don't know about a week. Maybe I should consider it. Yeah, the other bad thing about my hand is they're the only 2 3-ops cards I've got. So, you know, if I'm wanting to go hard, I would actually have to play these 2 cards. So there's maybe a better chance of me just playing that, letting the event trigger, and I might get lucky and go hard. Right. Let's see the other 2 cards. Yeah, I get the feeling I'm just going to be doing this part and going away and sitting in a corner crying. Okay, Tora Bora. Play if at least 2 cells in a regime change country. Yes. Remove the 2 cells. Roll prestige. Draw a card. That's pretty good. Remember, my prestige is at 1, so. And we wouldn't have the penalty yet if we are rolling prestige, remember? So a 5 or a 6 as a result. Remember, if we get that penalty, that affects the prestige roll, doesn't it? I think. Yeah, it does, yeah. So, and then the other thing about that was, players with 2 cells in regime change country, remove the 2 cells, roll prestige, draw a card. Well, we know. Oh, hang on, I can't draw a card. There's no cards left. Does that mean the game ends? Oh. Wait a second. That does actually trigger the end of the deck, according to the rules. Whenever a card is to be drawn but the draw deck is exhausted, reshuffle the cards in the discard pile and lapsing in first plot boxes to create a new draw deck and advance the deck marker 1 box to the right. So, if I'd done that, that would move us on to the second deck, wouldn't it? Then I can only assume that we would just scoop all the cards up, discard everything, reshuffle the new deck, set up the awakening stuff, and then start the second deck right there and then. To create a new draw deck and advance the deck marker. If it wasn't that, it'd be the game end. So if it is the game end reshuffle, the game immediately ends, you determine victory. So yeah, everything just stops. Not just me, if the bot was to try and draw a card as well, if anybody's to try and draw a card, it's going to end this deck 1, right there and then, I think. And it says immediately, so, I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be able to do anything. Well, with that, I'd remove the 2 cells, I'd roll prestige, and then the game the deck would end. So I suppose in that order, I would still get to do the 2 things on that card. I could leave this till nearer the end, but the whole point of it is doing it now while my prestige is at 1. Don't know, Grant. With the hand you've got, you might want to do that. I don't know. I think we're in a messy situation that I'd like to try and do something with. I don't know. Remember that is a prestige roll as well. So I could always try that first. If it doesn't work, if the prestige roll doesn't work, maybe do this then, and just end the deck. I don't know. Right, what are 3 cards? Well, we know covert action, which there's a bit I'd like to look into about that. I suppose that Islamist rule Egypt. Well, now we've got Islamist rule Pakistan as well, but you surely can't do that. Oh, hold on. No, that's regime change, isn't it? If I want to do a war ideas on a regime change that's the wrong one. Yeah, Yeah. See, it doesn't mention about doing a war of ideas in an Islamist ruled country. I just don't believe you can do that. I'm sure somebody's going to tell me at some point. Right, Amber Awakening. Play if troops in either Iraq or Syria. No. Place 1 aid there, +1 prestige, block Al-Amber. Okay. And then Special Forces. Play if there is a cell in or adjacent to a country with troops. Remove the cell. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm up 50 minutes. I could just bail out here, I suppose. Been a bit of a disappointing time to sit. I was really looking forward to sitting down today because I missed out yesterday, and I thought I'm looking forward to getting a couple of parts in here. Hope maybe even I wouldn't have. I don't think I was going to finish the deck off, but well, you can see that I maybe could if I played that card right now, but just a couple of parts, and I was hoping to try and tidy some of that nonsense up, but we're in a bit of a pickle, aren't we? Well, it is our turn now, isn't it? Yeah, they've had their shot. So at least you're going to be able to think about what you want to do, Grant. Yeah, I think I'd probably be better just leaving it. Yeah, bit of a shame because I do probably have an hour or so in me still. Well, think about what you. Well, I suppose I'd be tempted. I mean, do I want to go back to hard and try and, I've only got 5 cells on the track, 5 troops on the track, and you need 6. And I've got 6 in a regime change there, but I can't move them until that regime change is resolved. Do you have to deploy 6 troops? Yeah, probably. Because I think these troops still stay there, don't they? There was nothing to say they should be removed, was there? Thing is, I can't do nothing. I can't carry out disrupt operations there, so I think the troops are just kind of stuck there. But if I wanted to do a regime change, it's deploy 6+ troops. Well, what I was wondering was, can I deploy 4 and there's already the 2 there? It doesn't really say that. It says I've got to deploy 6, 7.3.4. And that's what it says, Grant. I don't think you're going to find... It's a special type of deploy, isn't it? It says that. Regime change is a special type of deploy. Requires the US to be hard and have at least 6 troops available to deploy from a single location. Yeah. Yeah, we've got to deploy at least 6 troops. So, I'd be better sending these 2 troops back to the track and then deploying 6 troops either into Pakistan or Egypt. That could be 2 card plays, but remember, you've got to get hard first as well. The elite card might allow you to do that. The big downside to that is shift an ally to neutral. You get the feeling it's going to be the good ally, isn't it? I don't know how to... So I'm messing with alignment, it's going to pick that. If you were playing this as a jihadist bot, you'd probably pick the good Afghanistan, wouldn't you? Because the good Afghanistan ally is given +1 bonuses to War of Ideas rules. Not that we're able to do many of them anyway, but... So hang on. Alignment, there we go. When an event instructs to shift alignment or auto governance, jihadist bot selects target country using the jihad column of the priorities table. Right, so if we're looking at that elite card and it's what to shift an ally to neutral, jihad column, it's not a jihad, Pakistan. So what does it want to do? Ally to neutral. Well, Pakistan's not an option. Busy's regime. Well, there you go, actually. That's Somalia. Oh, okay. What's after that? Syria, no, the other expansions. With aid. Oh, then it'd be Yemen, actually. That's ally. Okay, maybe it doesn't prioritise the good. I don't know. I would have thought that was maybe more important, but yeah, you know what? Some of the ways that they do it in this, I do scratch my head a little bit about, but it's not. I think sometimes it comes to me and I say, right, that's why it's doing it that way. Like Jonas says, maybe playing as the jihadist player again would open your eyes up to more of these things, wouldn't it? But well, we're maybe not far away for scrapping the game and doing that. No, I wouldn't restart again. And yeah, I mean, I suppose you could play as the US bot and that, but no, I want this to go on. I want to get onto the new deck. I mean, it's not over. I'm not beat yet, but it's just close to it. And I sort of feel like my priority now needs to be getting some of these points. This feels like it's too risky, but I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. I mean, I have said that the oil price spike. Well, these aren't oil producing countries, but I did mention that the rule for the caliphate, which is rules that we've not seen yet, but where is it? See if you get the caliphate capital markers displaced. Right, no. It's got a wee 1 in it. It gives 1 resource when that comes into play. If they get 1 resource right now, then we're defeated. And remember, these don't need to have the adjacency bit. The solo side of that doesn't need that. So, right, I think it's probably best I go away and think about it. For sure. I get the feeling I might just gamble and chuck that leak in there right away. Remember, we're going to get 3 ops, and then that event's going to trigger. I mean, blocking the wiretapping event, that doesn't do anything. Because wiretapping's been played. Unless, of course, there's other cards with wiretapping in it. I suppose. Roll yes posture, then prestige, shift an ally to neutral. Looks like it would maybe be Somalia. Which doesn't look that bad, because we've got troops in there, so... and yeah, and what would you do with the 3 ops then? Well, I'd probably run the event first to see what happened to my posture and my prestige. And then do something. I don't know what. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think you need to go away and think about it, Grant. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to get a second part in here. I might get the chance to get back again tomorrow, though. This week, to be honest, I might get a little bit most days. So, but I probably need to watch this part back and see what I'm going to do. Look at all these cards, Grant, and make a decision on. Just try to put that for my own sake, and then look out at the board there and see what you're going to do with things. Okay. Right, I'll leave it for now. Shame I didn't get another part done today, but, well, it is what it is. I probably need to be a bit more careful about what I'm going to do, or there might not be any more parts. Right, okay, I'll be back later. Cheers.